the Joe Corona Show, a showdown at CenturyLink, and the home opener at Red Bull Arena, next on The Daily. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily, here with Andrew Wiebe. I'm Nick Fershaw. We're going to start off with a look back at the Thursday night action in the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying down in Nashville. A good start, Andrew, for Caleb Porter's U.S. team, a 6-0 win over Cuba. Joe Corona, the hero in this one.
Yeah, 3 goals for him, all very deft finishes. I think my choice of the bunch is probably the first one. Brings it down off his chest, first time into the back of the net, made it look very easy, did so once again on the other goals, but easy going for the U.S. after a red card in the 20th minute to the Cubans. Once that happened, Cuba simply could not get the ball off of Caleb Porter's team, and that's the way they want to play. If they have that opportunity, teams in CONCACAF are going to find it hard to stop them.
A couple MLSers got on the board as well. Freddie Adu of the Philadelphia Union and Juan Agudelo of the New York Red Bulls, each with a goal. Again, a 6-0 win for the U.S. over Cuba. Not so lucky for Canada. They opened the tournament up against El Salvador, a scoreless draw there, but they're going to get their chance up against the U.S. on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Universal Sports Network, and in Spanish on Mundos. You can find a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. Moving on to the MLS weekend schedule, Andrew, we're going to start off the weekend with a very good game on Friday night, maybe the best game of the weekend. The Seattle Sounders at home against the Houston Dynamo, 10 p.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. You can find a live chat right here on MLSsoccer.com. For the Sounders, the hero so far, David Estrada, wondering if he can do it again against that Houston Dynamo defense. It's been so good so far.
Yeah, you got to ride the hot hand, you'd think, if you're Siggy Schmidt. So I'd expect that we see David Estrada up top, but Houston Dynamo are a completely different beast when it comes to defenses that he has faced in his young career. So we'll see how he matches up against Jeff Cameron, Bobby Boswell, obviously some very experienced players there in the back. Houston on the road twice this year, 2 shutouts. Their problem scoring goals. So we'll see how that kind of meshes. Can David Estrada get off to the same kind of start he did? And can Houston find the back of the net?
And a couple injury issues here for the Seattle Sounders. We already know Mauro Rosales, the right midfielder for Seattle, going to sit this one out. Siggy Schmidt revealed on Thursday that Adam Johansson, the right back for the Sounders, is questionable with a hamstring strain. That's a big deal when you're going up against Brad Davis, an MVP candidate for the Houston Dynamo on the left side. Again, that game 10 p.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. You can find a live chat right here on MLSsoccer.com. Next up, another big national TV game on the docket. This one's on Sunday, the home opener at Red Bull Arena. The New York Red Bulls up against the Colorado Rapids, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. You can find a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. Red Bulls go into this one with 2 losses on the road to open the season. Colorado Rapids, 2 wins so far. For the New York Red Bulls, you got to assume there's a lot of heat on Hans Backe and his group.
Yeah, they got to hope that that home cooking can reverse this early start. And not only have they lost on the road, they haven't looked very impressive doing so. So Rafa Marquez comes back, a huge addition to that team with Teemu Tainio, questionable for this one. So they'll hope that he can pull some of the strings, prevent Thierry Henry from having to drop all the way back to get the ball. Maybe that creative force to feed him and Kenny Cooper if he plays. But that will be no easy task against a Colorado team that has shown that that new project down there started by Oscar Pareja, the 4-3-3 and the possession-oriented system he has going, very effective so far. New York's going to have trouble breaking them down, even to 10 men last week in Philadelphia. They came out with the win, came back, so a nice win for them there. They'll hope to do the same in New York this weekend.
You mentioned the return of Rafa Marquez for the New York Red Bulls. On the other side of the coin, Colorado Rapids could be missing 2 very important players. We know Jeff Larentowicz is going to miss this game after getting a red card against the Philadelphia Union. Pablo Mastroeni might sit this one out as well. He missed a couple practices this week with headaches after that concussion in the first week of the season. We'll have to see. The Colorado Rapids at the New York Red Bulls, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The last of 3 nationally televised games this weekend in MLS. A very good one on Sunday night. Sporting Kansas City at home against FC Dallas, 7 p.m. Eastern on Galavision. Bone up on your Spanish for this one because it's going to be a good one. These teams met twice last season, 2 very good games, including that dramatic comeback for FC Dallas. This time around, they're missing a lot of their big stars going into Kansas City.
Yeah, and the guy that engineered that comeback, Breck Shea, with 2 great crosses in the late going in that 3-2 Dallas win last year, he won't be around. So Blas Perez is going to be a little bit starved for service based on just the personnel out there. No David Ferreira, no Fabian Castillo. Lots of good things going for Kansas City, who have been very good this year, but have not faced a team of the caliber of FC Dallas. Another interesting note from this game, this is the first of 6 straight for Sporting Kansas City against the Western Conference. So all that talk about who's top, who's best, we've got a real chance to see over the next month and a half or so as what many consider the East elite take on many of the same in the West.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see how it shapes out with Kansas City going up against some of the West teams. Carlos Rodriguez also out for FC Dallas, but you have to assume at home, Sporting Kansas City, they're feeling pretty good. 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night on Galavision. A couple more things before we go. I want to mention the latest edition of Extra Time Radio is out. It came out on Thursday. You can find it on iTunes and Buzzsprout. We had Joe Zhao from the U.S. Olympic team as well as Taylor Twellman talking about some of those issues for the New York Red Bulls and for the Philadelphia Union going into this weekend. And Andrew Wiebe, you also stepped to the mic to offer your fantasy expertise.
Yeah, for 1 week at least, I am the ETR fantasy expert at the top of the Experts Fantasy League. We'll see how long that lasts. Just a reminder, get your lineups in today. You have until a few minutes before game time tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern to get that going. Huge chance for people to take me down. We'll see how that goes.
And you can log on to mlssoccer.com/fantasy and want to make sure you know if you log on a Friday and you start this weekend, you're playing against other people that are starting at the same time as you, so you're not in a 2-week hole. mlssoccer.com/fantasy. For all the latest headlines in MLS and a complete schedule of all this weekend's games, log on to mlssoccer.com.